All right, so again, we're looking at similar to the first game. It's not as bad because they don't have to stretch, but again, unfortunate plane. They're on the exact opposite end. So again, in this type of situation, you usually want to look forward to, or you want to look to either, you basically make one of two calls. Either you rotate quickly, and all this is, of course, depends on the circle and how far away it is from you. You either want to make the call to rotate quickly, or you go say, fuck rotation, we'll just loot up and make sure we're good to go for the first fight we get into. And let's see, where is this circle? Believe this is the airbase ending. I think it was. Yeah, so it's a pretty late rotation, but that's, like I said, it's a bit expected if you don't like kind of coordinate it, especially if you get a very late plane.
Yeah, I'm down.
But as long as they can get through the chokes into the major opening area, they're good typically.
We can land ahead of them and land on the building. They're gonna be right here. We can cut them
Don't
off.
act like you know my team, pal.
They're in the circle area.
We don't want to fight here. We want to keep going, but like we have to get them to stop.
We do. I know you should. You should always know how the teams around you play. What teams around you that land. They always try to fight us. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I don't want to cost anything. Like rotation is always what we struggle with. We know we're gonna get a good game if we get in zone.
I know. I'm just saying the fact that he had fucking white Evo and I cracked.
If I was looking, I could have beamed him. Are we running through?
Yeah.
All right. So if we have to move, like we're pointing back, right? Not forward, or what? Oh, big. I need that.
I like one thing I actually really like is how much you guys talk about like you guys all seem to always talk about a contingency plan. Even there's a lot of top teams that don't usually do that. The contingency plan is typically whoever the IGL is realizes they're in a shit position, so they're just like, okay, follow me. I like how you guys kind of like always lay out a contingency plan. I'm a big fan of comms like that, because again, that just helps further hammer the point home about being on the same page.
Figure out what's gonna happen if we get put in a spot that we can't get out of.
I like that a lot. I personally always a fan of that.
They're holding that top spot.
We can hold the top, like the right stairs.
No,
they're gonna look down on us. That's horrible.
That's not smart at all.
Immortals about catching y'all in rotation. I see that smirk. I'm not going in depth on our plans. I'm actually going to be uploading a video soon on YouTube of where I actually did live coaching with my team for an hour before. I think it was online tournament or summer circuit tournament number 2. I have to go back and get the VOD. But if anybody would be curious to see what actual coaching is like, what I do with my team, they were okay with me streaming it, so that should be on my YouTube soon. Probably within the next week.
I'm trying to get inside before anything happens, but you gotta get in here and try to get barrels. I'm gonna try to take height in a second.
I want to go back here and actually let's see how this plays out. Then I'm gonna go back. I was talking a little bit, so I didn't see exactly how we got in this situation.
Alright, hopefully they're not flanking right now, because that's
close. They're like over here.
I'm starting a syringe. I only had one. Let's make sure we like rebound here, okay? This is important. Take this fight seriously. So they're up here. I just saw one over there. He just slid down. Is that a different man then?
No. Same it's the same.
That's fine. Got in.
I don't think that works. Let's try to identify where these.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Gornster.
Oh, why didn't we do that? Why did we literally not think of balloon? We can still do it.
We could.
Anyways, sorry for that little bit of a tangent.
How far can we get with that balloon?
All the way in our.
Let's do it for a second to try to identify what's free, right?
It's gonna be scary because we won't be able to like.
Hopefully, it's actually in zone.
Balloon scouting is good.
If we need to, we can go inside underneath one of like the.
Because how the hell is this free?
I know.
Is every team too afraid to go? I mean, well, let me back up there. Grabbing any of these, like obviously, like a lot of teams usually read airbase as like one of these airstrip endings. Now this one isn't like pulling super hard for it, so I think most teams obviously like aren't playing for it. But even despite these being a lot of like the winning end areas, you typically don't want to take these early. You want to take them like 2 circles from now, because every team is like on this on all of the high grounds looking down. It's basically you just get chipped at from everybody, so that's why it's open. Let me correct myself after I actually look at it for 1 second.
I got a port.
We'll break it. I mean, hey, I certainly hope.
It is sketchy.
This is free.
for my sake that the hodsic curse is not a real thing. But there are a lot of teams that just did not do well after I reviewed them.
Yes, they result to that angle. I don't know if you can shoot him. He's holding the right angle.
Okay, I'm just gonna go.
Come in. I'm gonna hold you. I didn't mean to come back to the portal.
I'm surprised that's open.
That kind of freaked me out. I thought it was.
Sorry.
I heard a pump.
I mean,
I'm having these my last.
I'm always a fan of going here. You're not going to be full of a lot of kill participation points here, but this is all about just surviving and getting to the end.
You might want to try doing.
Like literally nobody's going to fuck with you here.
Q back. Thank you.
Because it's a death sentence too.
Alright, listen, here's gonna be the play. Assuming it's gonna go south the way we think it's going to, what we're gonna have to do is, since we're actually in a decent spot, we can drop off and play this lower corner and be okay. And then we can play for like the lower part later, and then play underneath.
Do we know if that building's safe?
What building?
This one.
I didn't want to check it.
In the future we can. There's a lot going
Dude,
on right
it
now
is
though.
popping off above us. Jesus Christ.
I don't
Again,
really
loving.
that's too risky.
I love that about you guys already.
I don't have enough.
I don't-
I feel like, okay, from what I swear to God, I did a VOD review on you guys the last time you guys won a tournament. I know I did. It's not on my YouTube, but I know I fucking did. I've 100% reviewed Madness's team before.
If that's the case, then it would be
The I just think it never made it to YouTube. Damn, my editor scammed me.
He never told me to make that video.
We got Bloodhouse.
I'm thinking
All
it's
right.
gonna either be out here, down here, or it pulls here. I can't ping it, but like out here somewhere.
Do any of us have digis?
No.
Oh, fully kitted kit.
You have a fully kitted kit, huh?
Yeah, purple mag.
The problem is, the thing is, the difficult here is if any team drops on us, they can sit on us for pretty free.
If they have digi.
Meh, not really.
True.
He can literally
No Watson. No Watson in this room is a little monkish shake. But unless they commit a wraith portal to it,
don't move in this top spot.
most teams aren't like, you know.
Probably TSM. You might even
You'll just coexist.
TSM just almost will die fuck.
It could be a trick one. It could still pull.
It could be a trick, and it could pull like here.
Like what actually is this? I feel like this has to be a trick.
Should I port and see if this is available?
I don't think we should move. Actually,
Honestly, like I'm impressed with your guys' like call right here on this last circle.
yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are like, if you're like, yeah, I know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna end here, or if you're just kind of like calling that circle because that's where you want it to pull. But I mean, you guys guess fucking right.
I think that would be better. Than
That was like, oh, that's a really good call on the circle. I don't know if it's RNG or if there's something that you guys know how to do to call a circle like this, but
Make sure you don't die though. Like make sure you're smart about
It
it.
is.
it does, like, most other teams are reading this and probably thinking, I'm sure many are thinking it might pull Airbase, but I'm pretty sure a lot of teams are not. I'm pretty sure most of the teams that are on the outside of Airbase aren't thinking it's going to go Airbase, so you definitely got that going for you.
No, they're holding it. They're holding it. They're holding
Okay,
it.
just come back then. There's nothing we can
There
do.
was no fences, but they were getting placed as I went there. So it's
Rotating out of this can be tricky though if it's something that if you have to get out of Airbase, but you do have a
so
path.
odds are with this zone, I think it's gonna pull. It's pulling somewhere out in the open. I think if it's not a trick zone, it's not pulling hard south. It's gonna be somewhere in the open, and we're gonna have to figure out how to make a play to get up and above because we.
You have a pathfinder,
I feel like it is a trick.
Room above us.
but obviously he's talking about the team there. Yeah, I know, chat.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
maybe
feel
with
like
classic
walking
ulti,
around.
yeah, you might be able. We might be able to walk up. You might be able to walk up, ult the door, and then we run in.
My
And we
issue
just.
is that room sucks.
It's not any
So
worse than this.
the team top wall. Wait, there's gonna be two team top wall. This side is gonna be focused on us.
You know what? I wonder if we could get away with doing this. It might be risky, but I wonder if we could walk up the stairs, get to the top of the stairs. When I have port, I can port us through the building above us to here.
It's fucking risky, and we'd be baited the fuck out. I think.
I mean, we have cover. You can go on the outside of it and play the outside.
Yeah, but like any team. I mean, it could
This
work.
is a bad fucking spot. Everything around us, we have to rotate around is high ground right now. We have to rotate
Yeah.
against high ground right now.
Good thing you got a
No
path.
matter what we do, we're rotating against high ground.
Hold on, us here, like here.
All right, I'm gonna speed it up here. Thanks, Zone.
What's in? There's no zones down here, I don't think. I don't know KC zones 100%. If this was World's Edge, I would be able to, no, there's
I know
not
there's
even
still a
zones.
zone. I know there's still a zone right here that like, is touching this donut.
Most KC zones I feel like are typically easier to read than World's Edge,
I don't think we're gonna get in on that.
but this one's definitely weird.
I know we can get on that one.
And the ending, like both the last game and this game are definitely very weird.
Might be able to take it.
First game was very predictable, but this one,
Let's try. I'll be
sometimes the King's Canyon zones can throw you for a loop. Like I said, I doubt anybody called that last game's zone properly.
But this is so dangerous.
That's such a pull.
I think we should maybe port.
They're gonna cart them up.
I think we should maybe put under while zones.
I think we play here.
Listen, listen for a second.
We need to figure out the teams that are fighting.
There's not much we can do about it right now anyway. Like they're safe up there. They're fine.
Yes, but
I'm trying to listen to the, obviously the calming.
I want to look.
I want to hear the plan, the decision making.
I know. I just want to be. There's a full 3-man holding above me.
I was
up
gonna
on the
say
hill.
we port there late, that way no team can take it from us and we can easily get kills and then we just port back here maybe. Like he
You
keep
can right now.
barrels.
You can score right now, man. And I can three barrels.
My plan for it was literally gonna be like set barrels up in here, we port there to gatekeep teams out while they try rotating in there, because that's the only thing that people could take really. And then if we have to port back, we port back, and no one can be able to take it with the gas.
Get one, put a barrel here, put one behind. Yeah, that's perfect. Put them behind shit.
I have to
behind
mute right now
too.
because they're not hearing my plan
Okay.
at all.
So here's
That
the
plan
thing.
would get us
We're not
easy,
taking
easy
here
KP.
though.
Are you talking to your stream right now, pal? In the middle of a tournament?
Teams out, though. Like if we use the port, I think
Ben's an
I can
entertainer.
go back, but-
Damn. Okay.
I wanna talk
This
about
man's muting to talk to his chat from with a 5-minute delay. I respect it,
The safer
honestly.
play is go for here. I understand what you're saying, but the safer
Let's just talk about it later, it's fine. I know what you're talking about. I just want to explain everything later.
Because the problem is, and I'm not talking about your call. I'm talking about right now is what I'm thinking is if we hold here,
We should
this
go
team
top
on
10
height
for
is
sure.
this team is still.
That's a new level of frustration I have not seen.
Beam on us.
Not
Holding
if, we're,
down
not
here.
if we're like under.
No, I literally just checked myself to see.
Did you?
Like you have to go more than halfway through to the other side, and it can still see your feet.
And
It
the
can
team up
still
here
see your
was
feet.
hitting me.
Yes. So
They
it's not a good.
wouldn't-
We're gonna play for here. But they're putting above us.
Yeah, we might be able to get kills here.
Trying to fight.
We should be free to walk out a little bit to see what's going on, but
You
y'all
have
gotta be
zip.
very vigilant of this team, remember?
No, yeah, no, that's them. I think that ported. They're not in.
I think I might hear a team in the spot next to us or
Okay,
left.
if any team is rotating out, we beam them on the way out. The problem is we can't stay in here. I mean, we can,
can
but it's
right
risky as fuck. It's risky as fuck.
Very curious to see how they make this. I know where they obviously end up, but I haven't seen the rotation in, so I'm very curious how they get in here. Macaroni Tony going
Should
down.
get a barrel like on this thing while we're going, or somewhere on the stairs.
Walk out.
They're fighting above. Let's go look for the spot. They're fighting in ship. They're bubble fighting inside. I can see it.
Wow, I'm surprised nobody else is coming out this
We
way.
just gotta stay quiet. Get barrels. in
Again,
there.
I think most people were bamboozled by the circle. I don't think most people thought it was going to pull out this hard,
You can head glitch right here.
or probably that hard.
If
I
we
was
shot
just one
that
with
at the
that
same time, he's
Watson.
dead, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my bad.
All fine.
We're
Think
gonna
we can walk out a
Yeah.
lot right there, look. Oh,
I know
shit.
you should, Pal, you should top up. Actually, I'm gonna still hold that.
I like how like careful you guys are. Like you guys, I feel like this is a learned behavior because this team doesn't run Watson, but like they hardly ever ego challenge or ego peek. They're very disciplined on it, but you kind of have to be if you're not running a Watson.
No, we should not.
I can't
Top
split
still
on
in.
this top part at all.
Yes, we can stay inside the ship.
Doesn't matter.
They can
That
eight
team's
stack us.
holding here, just literally staring at us.
I can't
We
really
can
split
hold
on this
under.
that
We can
well.
hold under ship. We can literally head glitch right here.
Is it gonna take right now?
Yeah, we actually might want to. We might want to.
I'm down to try.
I'm gonna portal back. You need to get. Yeah, we need to hold here. One person be watching our back though.
It's
Do not
very
just
hard for
control
me
the
to do
back.
that. I'm trying.
I
but-
understand, but you need to do your best. Okay? Do your best.
Yeah,
I believe in you. Backs come through and get barrels.
I love your guys' comms when you're kind of frustrated. I'm gonna be honest. I understand, but you got to do your
I'm
best.
going to hold the stairs.
It's this guy that kept shooting me.
He dropped.
How trash am I, man?
Why are they
Jesus.
dropping? They
it's-
can't get in the house.
Calm down, pal. It's okay.
I'm staying here, by the way.
Vax is just ratting. All right, pal, get ready to come over.
I'm coming. We can just beam at this point, really. Your port's
can
gonna last
be,
long
like-
enough, right?
I'm at 20%.
So it should last long enough for us to sit here and gatekeep these guys, right?
You're killing. You're
Because
killing.
I think someone's gonna try to run along the bottom here
Doesn't
in a
matter.
second.
There's barrels. We're just gonna die to it.
They're really good.
There's
They're
gonna be a
good
lot of
barrels.
PKP. We might actually want to go through port and look up at that.
Or even we can even jump.
Don't
Is
watch
this
where you're.
in?
Yeah.
Actually, so much free real estate out here, but I think it's because most. I mean, usually when there's any free real estate like that, you're kind of surprised by, like I am right now. It's simply because most teams just didn't read that circle is going to be the way it is. So,
Look how much real estate we have right now.
They bubbled up here.
it's actually kind of crazy. Not gonna lie.
They're gonna fight here.
But you know, there's a big wall stopping most teams from rotating. Oh,
Okay,
We just lost him dead.
He's already dead.
I killed him.
I have a down up here that I can't kill though.
God, I miss competing. Sorry, random tangent, but I absolutely do.
I'm dead.
Part of me still wishes I can.
We can't do anything. Okay, you might want to get to Vax. You might want, or maybe I should.
Damn, yeah. You guys have this entire like.
It's fine.
You have this entire like area. That's actually crazy. But then that goes to show you how much the circle probably fucked a lot of teams.
We're safe on Vax. Do not forget.
That's like next zone for safe.
And I think that's part of like what I was talking about in the last map, or the first map rather, where too many teams played for like brute forcing the center zone rather than playing for strong rotational spots and going off of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, refer to my game 1. I talked about that extensively. I think way too many teams try to brute force this first zone on KC The only thing you have to brute force on KC is getting through all the terrible chokes, like getting beyond the wall if it's an airbase circle, for example, or getting past all the choke tunnels if it's like a slum circle. That's the only thing you kind of need to brute force. After that, you just need to find a strong spot that you can ensure at least you have a couple options for rotating.
Yeah, I'm
I think
looking.
I have to. I'm trying.
I won't continue. I won't plague the VOD review with that,
Please.
but I'll explain after the game. Just remind me.
I have a med kit. I'll come to
These
you.
guys I might be able to kill.
Okay. I have 60 light ammo. Can anyone give? How?
Yes. I dropped the stack.
Thank you.
There's a giddy here. A whole team here. Wait, where are they
36 red.
from?
They're top roof right now.
I think no one can. I think I have to stay here to keep them from trying to wide swing. You know.
You're fine. You're fine. There's
Yeah,
no way they
I like this. I like the split. I like when Pathfinders play split like this a lot. Like I said, most Pathfinders, I like the way you play Path a lot, pal, honestly. Most Pathfinders, I feel like they just kind of like, they're there to hit the beacon, and then they're there to basically just hit Q on to get out as an escape. But I love Paths that play a little bit split from their team. Despite being a very, obviously, big character with low profile, Path is so good at just getting a different angle and kind of helping your team out like that. Like, if they're all sitting behind the same silo, you know, they're at risk of getting wide swung on either end, and all of a sudden, you know, a team basically that's pushing them has like the power and controls that fight. But having somebody out here, like, they could cover each other's angles. I love paths that do this type of stuff. Pathfinder's hitbox fixed. The hitbox is fixed, yeah. It's just very big.
Okay, as long as you don't die.
Mac does do that well. Casper does it pretty well too. I do like the way Casper does it.
They died.
I think Casper tunnels a lot though.
Okay, buddy.
They're gonna
Don't
try
worry
to
about it.
take height.
But
This team's gonna take height.
I do think Casper is Casper's very good at getting that extra angle.
Rat right here, Paul. You can shoot him. He queued. Oh my god, I'm getting
I'm a
close.
little weak already. I don't think I
You need to
can.
get over to me. We might be able to take the zip. We might be able to take height late.
If they're
fighting us.
yeah.
I'm burning. I'm burning.
They give ulted on it. They give ulted on it.
Watch
They can't do
it.
anything. Shoot the pass.
Oh my god.
I got hit by that.
I'm just constantly healing.
Surprised that hit. Surprised that hit.
This team on height.
We have in game. Look.
I know.
You guys got gifted on this one. I'm gonna be honest.
I can't see.
You might be able to ult the team on height off of it.
But still, like,
You might loot this in a second.
that doesn't take away from the fact that there were some really good rotations here,
Wait, what?
and very smart and very well scouted.
They're gonna get.
You want me
That ult, I remember actually watching this with Reptar, and I'm like, that ult might have been. I think it was with Reptar. No, it wasn't with Reptar. I forget who I was watching this with. I was watching this with someone, but I was like, that ult definitely a little horny on that one. I get the point of it, but
We take that to really good start.
If we split hold, yeah.
Okay, let me do it on my ones. Let me do it.
at the end of the day, you don't really need it. Like, you guys have the circle.
Make sure you keep quickly.
They got the kill.
This is a very aggressive play.
I'm queuing.
Very aggressive play. Obviously, it's to get extra kill points where you might not normally. No need to do that play. If you have a circle, you don't have to do that.
So, like, just
I have no meds.
If they ate shit for it, that would have been a very foolish play. But at the end of the day, they got out
what cells do you have?
just fine, pretty much unscathed.
Me too.
I like it though. I like it. If you can play that, if you can do plays like that, knowing that you have to get the hell out if things hit the fan,
There might be one right behind here. I don't know. There might be
I'm
one
all
right
for it.
behind
I love the aggressive plays.
There's. Peek it with me. Look.
there. I have 30 bullets.
3, 2, 1. Nice.
Good shit.
Good farm. Good come. The other one, I think I saw one here.
Back. Get barrels right on this edge.
There might be one here as well.
Hold the rest. You need to get
I do
barrels.
think I do remember watching this, and I was surprised at the lack of like forward barrels. Again, at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Spoiler alert: they won this game. Caustic in the late game is just fucking so hard to deal with. But I was surprised. I'll be honest. I forgot who I was watching this with, because we were talking about it.
They're gonna bubble up.
I'm gonna try to get a good like.
No more height. What the fuck is he doing? Where is he
Trying
going?
to take height.
That's gonna be very bad.
We can beam them. One person stays in beams. And
That's a
the barrel right
very
there.
interesting portal, actually.
They literally have to drop into the gas.
That's smarter than they're playing that for endgame, but I think they did that too early.
Give me this.
And we do the nade thing, like we can win this.
Reptar and IPN. Wasn't Reptar playing this? Yeah, Reptar is playing this. I might have been watching with IPN. That might be it.
Do you have ult
Someone
accel?
That's a smart portal. I like that portal.
Remove your fucking ping.
Wow.
I was surprised to see like a lack of like forward barrels like behind this box to like fuck the teams over that are rotating here. Obviously, at the end of the day, like all you gotta do is gas the end circle. But if you could like throw gas like here, like behind this box, behind this corner, like just like those forward barrels where like they can't break them no matter what. Like forward barrels here, I think would have been. I was watching with him, and he is like a caustic expert, and I was very surprised also. Again, all you gotta do is you gotta gas your area, but I think for like gassing any area that people are forced to move into is also one. If you can get any extra gas ticks or slows on people moving into the circle, especially in a late game like this, like that alone, like one barrel could literally fuck an entire team just trying to move in. Obviously, what team is going to survive this? Not very many. They ended up winning anyways. It's just good. I think good tech to go with, because you don't need more than one barrel for this. Maybe two.
Just stall time. I think you're good. Now come in.
Go though. But this is what I was talking about. Maybe like barrels like behind here and like behind here. So these teams are basically forced to run into them, and all of a sudden that slows their entire run. Not to cut out the hype, but I was trying to get a good view of it, but Pal wasn't looking over there. But yeah, like forward barrels to basically cut off through teams that have to run through your shit. Again, because you don't need more than like 1-2 barrels tops for this. Oh, don't hate on Madison's voice.
I wanted to do so much more right